Warning. Spoilers for One Night in Miami ahead, and sexual assault trigger warning. Hello! Welcome back to Real Shit. We are a very different place than when we originally started recording this, or we're about to record this about 5 days ago. And even
Things
more
happen.
so than last episode.
Yeah. Welcome to my abode. This is where I live, just on this couch.
This is just the couch,
Right
and
here.
we're in like a Walmart.
Yeah. Don't say that too loud. They'll come look.
I didn't say which Walmart.
You're right. There's
Just
lot.
at a Walmart.
There's a
Remember
lot.
where we live in Saskatchewan. I don't know if you know, I don't know if you know that, but back when Ship Roasting, I accidentally said where we lived. I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, we actually live in Saskatchewan because I have a Canadian flag in the back.
Weird.
So yeah, we're at a Walmart in Saskatchewan. Anyway,
funny.
we're going to talk about a very serious movie, more serious than the beginning of this, called One Night in Miami.
Very serious movie.
Yes, and roll the intro credits. I don't know. Roll it. One Night in Miami. When did you watch this? I watched it 3 weeks ago. We were supposed to do this before we did the countdown to Halloween back in September.
Yeah, we were supposed to do this a long time ago. That's my fault.
And then Halloween's fault.
And then just life kept happening.
And Halloween.
Yeah.
We had to count down
Halloween,
to it.
yeah.
We promised the people. The one person who's watched them all. And that's probably
We can't
me.
disappoint that one person, you know.
Nope.
We appreciate you.
Yep. Oh, we're also in a live studio audience. We have a live studio audience because, like I said, we're in Walmart.
Yeah.
People just walking by. But anyway, so One Night in Miami is a movie about. I have the names written down. Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, Cassius Clay, who is Muhammad Ali, and Malcolm X.
Yep.
This is fictional, I believe, unless this really happened, in which case it'd be cool. But
It's a
fictional account
yeah.
of them getting together and celebrating Cassius Clay's championship, or he won.
He beat Sonny Liston.
That's what it was. Okay.
And which was like a really big deal for that time because Sonny Liston was like Floyd Mayweather of their day.
Oh yeah, and Cassius Clay, like I said, ends up becoming Muhammad Ali when he joins the Brotherhood of Muslim.
Yeah,
Islam.
The Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam.
Yeah. What's interesting, my grandfather was actually a part of that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he named all four of his children after apparently either when he was telling me he was like spewing a lot of anger because
Sure.
Malcolm X was exactly like what my grandfather was like.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So imagine him spewing out baby names, but like Islam, Islamic baby names.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he part of the Nation of Islam? Okay.
Yeah, he they lived in Queens.
Okay.
So whatever headquarters they had there, he went
Gotcha.
there. And my dad actually told me a few stories of him going when he was younger.
Okay.
But they stopped going around the time it was like the 80s because that's when my third uncle was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he stopped going to
Yeah.
service like everyone else did when they were
But what's
at a
interesting
certain
was
age. Everyone stopped going.
it was the same. It was he said it was kind of the same reason why Malcolm X left the nation, because of the way the leadership was kind of breaking down.
Which they discussed a little bit in this movie.
Yeah. I like the aspect of that they threw in there.
Mm-hmm.
The just the view of how the nation did have and still does have like a lot of negative views about it just because of how radical they were.
Right.
I know they were compared to the what's it called, the Black Panther Party.
Okay.
Because of how militant they were about their ideas, as opposed to they were definitely more verbal than the Black Panther Party.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I don't. They kind of skim over that in school because I mean,
of course
I know about the Nation of Islam, but like we learn more about the Black Panthers, and obviously we learn more about Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Which,
The only reason is because of how
he was peaceful.
Yeah,
That's
Malcolm
pretty much
X
it.
was very, I'll say. Because I won't say that he was wrong, but he definitely wasn't right.
Right.
He was, like I said earlier, just very radical about it, how he was talking about everything.
So, at the beginning of this movie, I think, who does it start? Does it start on Cassius Clay or does it start on Jim Brown?
I think it starts with Jim Brown.
Okay, because he goes to his coach's house.
Yeah. Is that the coach?
Yes, it was his coach.
Okay. I thought that was just like a family friend.
Well, that's a terrible family friend.
Yeah.
Which I was about to say. Because at the beginning of the movie, because I do remember him, he went to his coach's house, having a nice conversation. The coach, liked him a lot. He was in favor of him. Yeah. And then he says he wasn't allowed in the house because he's black, and they don't allow black people in the house. And that caught me so far off guard. I was like, wow, that's fucked up.
The whole long spiel of him going, just all this positive accolades, like, oh, you're great, we love you, family, you've done so much for... But then the
360.
We don't allow niggas in the house.
Yeah,
man.
But that's how it was.
That's how it still is.
Fucking sucked. Yeah, it still is. It fucking sucks.
The thing with this movie was it's a fictional telling of a conversation that didn't happen, but it's a conversation that started then and it's still going on today.
Now. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels in the movie from then and now, and you'd have to be blind to not see that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked into it a little bit, and it was crazy how much changed after this night, because with Cassius Clay, him joining the Nation of Islam and becoming Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown quitting the NFL,
and become an actor.
Yeah. I also found out, I don't know if it was directly related to or if it was just a part of the reason, but Jim Brown actually had like some domestic violence disputes going on.
Okay.
He was a little bit of a woman eater.
Yeah. Okay.
And they actually said that the director, Regina King, who was the voices of Riley and Huey.
She's amazing. She's just amazing at everything she does.
Yes, but she said she left that stuff out of the movie on purpose.
Oh, that's right. I forgot she directed it. Yeah.
And it was, I at first I was like, that's kind of weird to leave that out, because it's as if you're making it so that doesn't exist. But she said for the purpose of the movie, it wouldn't have really added anything or taken away anything from his character. Okay. Because of what was actually going on in the movie. It would have. I feel like personally, it would have added a little bit to his character because of how, angry he is, and it's very clear how he's. You can see he's like working on his anger, but after everything that happens from then until the next few years, definitely could see where it could go wrong, and he just starts letting it all out.
Right.
And then Sam Cooke actually died later that year.
That's right. Yeah.
That Christmas.
Sam Cooke's point of view from this movie was very interesting.
Yeah.
I found, and a lot of it came from he became empowered through money.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. I wrote down because he had an argument with Malcolm. Him and Malcolm didn't see eye to eye at all.
Right.
During the whole thing. Bless you. Bless you, Walmart patron. And it came from a point, and his point of view in the argument came from a place to read. Just because he didn't mind that white people, stole his music and charted higher.
Right.
He felt empowered by profiting off the general public's racism. And that was, like I said, it was interesting. I just repeated myself, but
he was I liked his.
I went and downloaded every album he ever made after this movie.
Really?
Yes, every single one. Because I do that. When I hear one song from an artist, I'll download everything they've ever made. Word. But I liked the contrast between them. Even though they're both important to the movement, they weren't even opposite ends of the spectrum. It was just
two different aspects of the spectrum, 2 different points of it. Because they were all 4 of them were very famous, and they actually were all friends. Like, before.
There's a Netflix documentary about Cassius Clay, or Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X's relationship.
Yeah.
It's based off a book.
I read about it in the Muhammad Ali, I won't say biography, because it's definitely not a biography. It's more of a, I guess, just analysis of his life.
Okay.
But, Mm-hmm. It was really good, and the parts of it where it's talking about his relationship with Malcolm X, mm-hmm. and then it even goes as far as to go a little bit into Malcolm X's background. Have you seen the movie Malcolm X from the 90s?
No.
It's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. It's like a fantastical exaggeration of his origins, but it's pretty mm-hmm. pretty much what happened. Mm-hmm. It was really interesting also that what they did with his hair in One Night in Miami, mm-hmm. because I don't know if you noticed how it had like a reddish tint to it.
No, I don't remember. It was a couple weeks ago, so I wouldn't remember something like that, but I didn't.
But it's like that because when he first, like before he became Malcolm X, mm-hmm. he was run-of-the-mill gangster on the streets, mm-hmm. and he got sent to, I can't remember what prison, but while he was in there, mm-hmm. he got reformed by the weekly religious seminar that they would go to, okay. which at the time for them was the Nation of Islam.
Right.
So that's how he got indoctrinated into it. But before he did all that, he bleached his hair and had a perm.
Interesting.
So he's like still growing that mm-hmm. back out into his natural hair color throughout all of the stuff that's going on. So I thought that was really interesting. Neat and what's the word? Attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. There's a quote that was from Brother Jamal, which kind of was a bit of comic relief in this, and it was he was talking to Jim Brown, and he's like, "I almost went to one of your games." I'm kidding, I don't have any money, and that was quite relatable.
Football games are pretty expensive.
They're so expensive,
especially for like a championship game or something.
Yeah, but there's something else interesting about all this particular group is that really only one of them is like really like extremely well known for being in the fight for equality, and that's Malcolm X. But everyone else did their own thing. Did their own part in their own field.
Yeah,
you know, Muhammad Ali and boxing and Sam Cooke and music and.
I always forget how young Muhammad Ali was too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
He was 22 when he beat Sonny Liston, mm-hmm. who was like 30-something at the time.
Yeah.
22. It's younger than us.
Yes, it is. It's insane. That hit me at one point in the movie, like, huh?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
Muhammad Ali just died in 2016.
Oh, yeah.
So he was young.
Mm-hmm. And he was great for a long time.
Yeah.
A boxer.
Till Parkinson's.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Really bad Parkinson's. Directly because of the boxing. Mm-hmm. But you know,
something Jim Brown said was, "We're all just gladiators, Cash. We with our rulers up there, and that box giving us the thumbs up or the thumbs down." I like that analogy, especially being a sports fan.
Yeah.
They're all at the whim of these billionaires just up in the box. They're just like, if they like it, cool. If they don't, you're done.
Yeah.
And then even more so if you were back then, if you're a person of color, then you were just right. you were 100% at their whim. And if they didn't like what you're doing, you're done, like completely done.
What's interesting about that quote and about that conversation, mm-hmm. like that part of the conversation they were at, you can take that as that's more than just mm-hmm. about like the four of them and how with their fame, that quote really speaks to. Like the entirety of being black at not only at that time but now especially because it's regardless of how famous you are, a lot of the times people will see you as just another black dude. Mm-hmm. But I know in my experience growing up in middle school, my entire class was black except mm-hmm. for like 2 people, and those 2 people were either Hispanic or maybe white.
Sure.
And we only had I want to say like 3 white people in our entire grade
mm-hmm.
at the time. But every time there was some kind of accomplishment, you could kind of see it in the teachers. They didn't really care if it was one of the kids from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Half of the people that went to my school lived in my neighborhood, so
mm-hmm.
We were all friends and whatnot. They always saw us as just that's the rowdy kids. Mm-hmm. But 3 of us were like the smartest kids.
Right.
Me, Danny, Danny and I.
Yeah.
Him, Giovanni, Cesar, all of us,
yeah.
but it didn't matter because we were minorities.
Right.
It wouldn't be until somebody like Risden, who was also in our grade, he was an average student at the time, but I remember hearing about one time he got like the best score out of the whole grade. But I got the same score.
No, party.
Party for Risden. I got the same score.
Yeah. No, I have almost the exact opposite because I went to white schools throughout my entire. I got a little bit more mixed in middle school, not that much. I mean, there's only been Hill Middle. Yeah. But and then I got even more mixed in high school. But I was still in the honors classes, so it still wasn't even that much mixed in. I wasn't I wasn't an AIS, so I wasn't the only person of color there. But me and do you know? I'll probably bleep this out, but you know who that is?
Yeah.
He went to our school. We would outdo everyone on everything because we were just probably the smartest kids in our grade, if not top 5%, top 10%, something like that.
Yeah.
And
didn't matter.
But if someone like I actually have to edit this. Someone like do you know? Well, no, she's not white. I can't even use. She's a minority.
Isn't she like?
She's native. She's indigenous.
Okay.
I know her dad. Anyway, I have to do a lot of editing. But you wouldn't know. She went to a different high school, but she was a ghost. And she did something good in the AR. Party. Yeah. Party for everyone. So it's the exact opposite. Everyone in my class is white. It's like.
Right.
And here I am carrying everyone.
You're the reason.
I'm the one your test grades. I'm the reason your test grades are. So
I actually caused the curve to get changed for our midterms in 8th grade.
I love doing that.
It was me.
That was fun. I didn't get to do that in college.
No, because college. There's too many of us.
I'm dumb in college. But
college is also hard.
It is. It is. I'm surprised I passed.
Shit, bro. Look, I dropped out after a year, so.
So sometimes it's how the cookie crumbles. But anyway, back to the movie. What were you saying? Oh, the gladiator comment. I didn't have anything else to say about that.
It was also going back on the, speaking to the whole of the race. The way that black fathers raise their kids. When they happen to be around, from what I've noticed, is a lot of the time they look to like Spartans and just ancient Greece as a role model in a way.
Interesting.
Just because of how independent the male culture was at the time, specifically Spartans.
Yeah.
I know my dad. He loves to use the 300. As like a talking point.
That's a movie we should watch. I've never seen that before. It's supposed to be really good.
It's insane. It's a lot. I won't say it's a bad movie, but I wouldn't say it's a good movie. Bless you.
Interesting.
Bless you. Just in my opinion, it's kind of exaggerated. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. But it's just the visual aspect of it. But anyway, the part that he really likes to hit home, and I've heard it from a few black father influencers and stuff like that on TikTok, but the aspect of, in order to become part of the Spartan army as a child, and I'm talking like between the ages of 6 and 9.
Yeah, Spartans were brutal.
Yeah, you would boys would get sent out into the woods and were not allowed to come back until they killed something, and you either killed something and proved yourself to the tribe, or you died out there. So it's like
Jesus Christ. Yeah. 6 to 9.
Yeah. That's when it would start. A lot of, and it would be dependent on how big you were coming out. Because I've heard of some stories where the youngest 4 years old, you'd be put into like a training regiment.
Believe it or not, I was tall for a small child. So I would be sent out early. Taller than most people, not everyone. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And because of that, their army is always full of these monsters men that are just so full of, rage and testosterone and can conquer whatever. Bless you.
Bless you.
So I don't know why, but black people seem to gravitate towards that, because that's how it feels though. So being out here, and of course I it's different for every minority, but when it comes to just the animosity from the outside world, I definitely feel like a little Spartan boy lost out there in the woods sometimes.
Something that I think I can relate to. I love this quote a lot. Not enough to get it tattooed on me, but definitely enough to put it up, like on a wall or something. Right. Is everybody wants a piece of the pie? Well, I don't. I want the damn recipe. I love that quote so much as someone who wants to be an innovator, who wants to help the world by groundbreaking innovation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just want to contribute to this stupid little car over here. I want to fucking reinvent the car.
Yeah.
I want to make it fucking fly. Shit like that. Like, I don't like that quote resonates me in that way a lot. And then it's a powerful quote just from him in the context of who he was in this movie, how he was portrayed in this movie. That was Sam Cooke.
Yeah. He the way that he seemed in the movie reminded me a lot of Prince. For some reason. Okay, yeah. Just with his charisma and the sheer fame. It was, I don't know, it was very interesting. But that whole rant he went on for a second for that quote was crazy.
Oh yeah. It was even more interesting when Malcolm put on the record of was it the Rolling Stones? It was Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, yeah.
Bob Dylan. And he talked about, aren't you mad about this white guy stealing our music? He's like, no, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Because that money is going to come back to me. Yeah. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. He was driven by that. He's like, fuck yeah.
I feel like it wasn't.
Yeah,
it definitely was they definitely went for the greed aspect of it. But from what he was saying, it definitely seemed more like it was a
power thing, not
right.
It was more power in that sense than it was greed. Which, of course, obviously he would take them. He takes the money and he makes it. And
especially for the time, you gotta take all the money you can get,
right? But
and
I think, and so I mean, this just goes on down further in another quote I wrote down. Power is just means a world where we're safe to be ourselves, and that's where that's what Sam Cooke liked to feel, or at least that's how he was portrayed. That he liked to like. All that, obviously it was, gave him money, but it made him feel powerful.
Yeah. What's crazier about that is when you look at what happened when he died. Do you know how?
No, I don't know how.
So it was December 11th or 10th. Okay. But that night he was, according to eyewitnesses and the woman that he was with, they were at a diner. Bar place. I think it was after a show or something, but it was coming off of the fame of that song he performed at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember what song that was. It's amazing song. Yeah. I really like what they did with it at the end.
Yeah, but coming off of the fame for that, he's supposed to be rolling high. He's got all this money coming in now, and he goes out, celebrates, has a little night out with this girl, and they go to this hotel, but according to the woman, he forces her to go to the hotel, and then while they're there, again, according to her, he strips her down to her panties and is molesting her and forcing her to do all this stuff. And she tries to run away and goes to the bathroom when the window is forced shut, which doesn't really make any sense. That's where the story starts to break down. And then she says that she runs and hides in the manager's office's closet or something. And when she ran out, she grabbed his clothes and her clothes, but his clothes on accident. Because when he comes finding her, all he has on is a leather jacket and a single shoe. And then in self-defense, she says that she shoots him because he's trying to break down the door. And then she hits him in the head with the broom, and he falls to the floor and dies. But according to the autopsy and according to a friend that was allowed to see his body before the funeral, his body was so badly beaten that there's no way he could have done anything that she said. It looked like, according to the friend that saw his body, it looked like somebody had drugged him, robbed him, and then beat him when he came to and tried to fight for himself. Because apparently he was, also according to the diner he was at, a few people saw that he was, it was just him and her, but the girl said that they were with a few friends, and then she said that he had like a ton of money on him, and he was like trying to flash it around. But then when the police looked through his stuff, like looked through his jacket and whatnot, all he had was $100 in like a money clip and a few loose change. But the girl was saying like he had like $2,000 or something on him. So where did the money go, lady? Either you took it or you're lying. Right. So
yeah, that's a lot back then, because I did write it down. At one point, Jim Brown said this is a hard right turn. Jim Brown said he made $37,000 to be in a movie, which I don't know what movie it was. I don't remember. And he said today that'd be $326,000.
Yeah.
So $2,000 back then was a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money now.
I mean,
everyone
for a movie though. What is?
I don't even know how long.
That's not even that much for a movie role.
Well, it depends on how much he was in it, and also remember back.
He said he was like in half of the movie. He only dies halfway through, and even then, today.
Remember racism.
I know
they weren't probably not paying him what he was worth.
That's the crazy.
Not even close, probably.
Oh no, yeah.
What else have I written down? Oh, something I found interesting was the inclusion of Malcolm X's family. Did you read anything on the thing from? Oh my God, what was the producer's name?
Regina. Regina King.
It was Regina King. Okay, I didn't want to say it wrong, but did she say anything about why she included that or his family in it?
I didn't read that.
No. Okay.
It was.
It was an interesting.
Because of what was going on, because of the plot point that they were focusing on for him in the story, it definitely made a lot of sense. And because of what happened when he was murdered, they were definitely gunning for him. So it was very.
At the end of the movie, didn't his house get burned down?
Yeah, because somebody came by.
They found out.
Molotov. But it was I mean, if you look at Malcolm X's character, not just in the movie, but just in life, he really is just a father, right? Just trying to protect his family from the this outside world that's very clearly out to get you. So I definitely thought it was a really good point to add. Yeah,
and people who learn about him just being a violent person and added. He's not.
He's not a violent
He's not just that. I mean, sure, I don't want to say anything after that because I don't want to get anything wrong. But he had a family. He cared very much for them. Yeah. So and added some depth.
The violence that people always attribute to him is just how strongly he's speaking. Because if you notice that first speech that you see on the TV at the beginning of him is like one of his most famous ones. Yeah. And but all he's saying, it's not like he's saying, hey, everybody go out and start bombing, start hurting everybody for no reason. All he's saying is we as a people need to fight back. Whether or not it needs to be physical or not is up to the circumstances. But, that's where it gets lost in translation a lot of the time. Right. Because him and even the Black Panther Party, sure, they're definitely a lot more radical than the Nation of Islam, but they weren't going out fucking robbing people. No, they weren't doing what the fucking KKK is. Right. But the guns are just a show of, you're not the only ones with power here. Right. Exactly. This is for self-defense. What you're coming out here doing is for no reason. Directly a direct parallel to all the white nationalists and everything that were going on.
Yeah, because they had to fight back. Yeah, or at least present that they would. Right. A change is gonna come. That's what the song was.
Yeah.
Jim Brown's conversation with Malcolm X. Like I said, I should have rewatched this, but I didn't. It's on me. But their conversation, I think it was towards the end of the movie, was really, really, really good. Really heartfelt. Yeah. And the actors in this movie were spectacular, period. Yeah. But especially in that moment, they were really good.
Yeah. I can't remember what exactly he said, but I liked how you could see in Malcolm's face, like, man, I didn't even really think about it like that. Mm-hmm. But it took that conversation for him to understand.
Right.
But in real life, it was a combination of a few things. Because they were, like we said earlier, they were all friends, so they definitely had some version of this conversation at one point. But, I don't know, it's just really good. The whole like last 30 minutes of the movie was just really
spectacular.
Powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie was like, and I didn't know what to expect coming into this movie. Like, I knew
me neither. I thought
who was in it.
Yeah.
But I heard Miami, and I kind of assumed that they were going to do what Sam Cooke wanted to do, which is go out and party. So I expected kind of something like that, just kind of like a humorous thing that they just kind of did. Like, oh, this isn't real, but it was a really powerful movie.
I didn't expect it to be like the entire thing takes place.
Your kitten's flying all over the place?
They are messing with the blinds in the room. Yes.
They're having fun.
They are doing some crackhead shit. But the fact that the whole movie takes place literally one night, but in that motel room, is quite wild. I thought it was gonna be like
throughout, yeah.
Like here's a segment of each person's life, and then here's the one segment where they're all together at one point.
Which they started off that way.
Right.
Like, here's how they got to Miami.
But that was
here's how they ended up being.
That was just the
together.
Introduction to each character. Yeah. Just in case you didn't know who's in the movie.
Right. And a lot of times where a movie takes place in one area and it's mostly just talking, they tend to be a long time, and I didn't feel like this movie took up a ton of it
didn't feel as long.
It didn't feel very long.
It was a whole 2 hours. Though.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like it was 2 hours, and there was like some good meaningful conversation there. Yeah. So just they're locked in a room yelling at each other. Which there was some yelling between Sam Cooke and Malcolm X, but I mean
that was only because
there was a reason behind it, and there was some good substance in the yelling.
I really liked.
It was really just Sam Cooke yelling.
I really liked that. Malcolm is trying to give out all this knowledge, but he's the one that learned the most that night. Mm-hmm. After everything that they've all been through, and it just I don't know the contrast between the four of them really worked too.
Yeah,
because of their I don't know what it was.
It was like this nervous energy of Cassius Clay. I mean, nervous, but also upbeat, and like he was happy, but he was nervous.
Optimism.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm not good at words.
You got the young optimist, the old man that has seen everything
Malcolm
and is trying to show the young kids what to do, and then you got the two kids that are going through it, that are right in the middle of it.
Right. Well,
Jim Brown and Sam
I think
Cooke.
Jim Brown had like a calm presence to him. He wasn't like he was also like in his conversation with Malcolm X. He's like, yeah, I'm fired up too.
Right.
But like,
I feel like it really came down to each of their like childhoods growing up.
Yeah.
Because Jim Brown growing up in the South versus Malcolm X growing up in New York, two different kinds of racism.
Oh God! Oh God! Yeah. Jeez.
Two complete. I mean, that coach's house. Not only being a family friend, you could definitely tell the way that he was talking. His family owned Jim Brown's family at one point because it had only been 100 years.
You're right.
So that's 1.5 generations ago that they were still slaving up.
Right. What a weird.
I don't know.
That's a way to put it. But racism up north, it's weird. It's flipped the way people are to each other. Up north, it's behind your back. Whereas normally they're just straight up assholes to you.
Right.
At least in my experience. And down here, it's like racism straight to your face, but they're mean to you behind your back. At least I've noticed that, like, just from working where I work. Just straight up.
Yeah.
That's just my experience with it. It's a lot
almost
more forward down here than it is up there.
Oh yeah.
And they like to pretend they're not racist up there. It's like Europe. Europe likes to pretend they're not racist. We all know they're a little racist.
Oh yeah. No, Europe is a lot racist.
Are you white? You might be a little racist.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Oh, some people, they've solved themselves. But even then, they still have some biases.
Oh yeah. I mean, this movie really spoke to the fact that racism isn't going to go away.
No, and there is this line, and this actually kind of goes with how I said racism is. It says some white folks just cannot wait to pat themselves on the back for not being cruel to us, and I hate those motherfuckers more than I hate rednecks who just put it all out there. And I'll be damned if I ever forget what they really think of me.
Yeah,
and you see that a lot now. And there are people who are trying to like step over themselves, trying to prove that they're not racist.
Right.
But you're being racist right now.
Right, you're going out of your way.
You're unintentionally being racist.
To be racist.
Yeah, and it's annoying as shit.
It is. It really is. I don't understand why people think it. What's so hard about being, just
don't be racist. It's that simple. Be a decent human being.
Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, just be a decent human being.
Just treat each other the way. I feel like if everybody treated their friends the way that they would treat their grandma.
Yes. And the way you treat your grandma and your mother is very telling how you treat other people.
Not even your mother, because you can have some people,
people
either don't have moms or
true.
have a bad relationship with their mom.
That's also true.
Who has a bad time
I guess
with
that's
their
more
grandma?
for guys.
Okay, yeah.
If guys treat their mom like shit, then that's a red flag. Anyway, but no, the way you treat your grandma.
Yeah, because I mean, especially down the way it is down south. Yeah, the way it is down south. If you're not with your parents, you're with your grandparents, or some part of that generation of your family, and them being closer to what was going on.
I think that's the case for a lot of minorities too, just in general. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're not with your parents, you're usually with your grandparents.
The next of kin is usually or great aunt and great uncle. I know my family dynamic. If I wasn't going to my parents about something, it was either my dad's mom or my mom's mom. Despite the fact that my mom's mom is very religious. Super religious. And now my dad's mom is too. Everybody is, but, that's a different conversation.
I'm sure that's probably how it would have went with me, but my mom's dad died when she was 2. So she didn't even know him. And then her mom died when I was 4. And then I never met my dad's parents. So but they were really close with them.
Yeah.
My parents always went to them for stuff, and so I'm sure if they had lived through to me, I'd probably do the same thing. But now it's my aunt and uncles.
Little grandma's boy.
But my parents, they were born when their parents were in their 40s. So they were old. So I don't know how far they would have made it if that had been. My grandma, like I said, was 4 when she died. She was 80 when she passed away. So she probably would have she probably still would have just. She wouldn't have lived any longer.
Yeah.
But, and then my dad's parents passed away.
That wasn't recent.
In the 90s.
Oh, okay.
That was due to cancer.
Okay.
Both of them. But anyway, but actually, I did grow up with grandparent figures, and, when we go down to Florida, we always stay with her, and that's usually where, that's the first place we go.
Yeah.
And so, if anything did happen to my parents, I wouldn't be surprised back then if we'd gone and lived with her.
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to move out every 2 weeks and then move back in, because she's in a retirement village. But you could only stay for 2 weeks.
That's funny.
And she actually lived, she's black. She actually lived in Tennessee in the 60s. So she knows all this stuff firsthand. She actually came down here to go see her to go to Asheville, see if her boarding school was still there. It wasn't. But
Tennessee is wild.
Tennessee is wild.
2 times I've been there. Both times have been just...
Oh, wait till you hit Nashville.
The second time wasn't as bad, because it was for a concert. The first time was just... Every person I came into contact with just looked at me weird.
Welcome to Tennessee. No, it's not like that in the outs. It's everywhere but Nashville, I guess. Memphis, maybe.
Yes,
I've heard Memphis is not a great place.
I went to Johnson City, so that's right in that valley, outside of Nashville.
Mm-hmm. God, I love Nashville. Anyway, back to the movie. Did I write anything else down? I talked about this earlier. The way they used the song with the compilation of events at the end.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that, and I think that's all I have.
That I almost cried.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was,
and just the emotion with which, I don't know. Did he actually sing that, or did they have Sam Cooke actually the Sam Cooke?
I couldn't tell
because he delivered that with such.
Yeah. I mean, I've
prowess.
seen that dude somewhere in like a couple other things, but
I looked up a bunch of movies they were all in. I couldn't remember. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah. But
all of them were fantastic in this movie.
If that was him performing it, that was like picture perfect song.
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm not good at words either.
English is my second language.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse, even though it's not. Leslie Odom Jr. That's who that was. Sam Cooke. He is in. Let's click movies. Your Hello Kittens. When did they start selling kittens at Walmart? He's in Hamilton. He was in Harriet. Apparently he's gonna be in Knives Out too. That's gonna be great.
I haven't seen the first Red Tails. That was what he was in.
You haven't seen Knives Out? That might be after the movie we'll have to watch. But Kingsley Benadir, that's who played Malcolm X. He was amazing in this movie. Holy shit, he was amazing.
I thought it was crazy how much alike all of them looked. Like the only one that was like,
yeah, they all did a really good job making them look.
Yeah.
At least they're small because they can't knock over anything that important.
Psst. Come here.
Hello, kitten.
You want to appear on camera?
She's been on, or one of them has been on chip roasting at one point.
Yeah, Linus was on chip roasting one time because he definitely wanted attention.
Yeah, to introduce himself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
New smells. But yeah.
Hopefully not of Doug, because that dog's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't feel like it's fair to rate this movie.
No,
either way, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. But
yeah,
this is the best movie we've watched so far. I think.
Yeah, this movie was definitely. It came out during
the pandemic.
Yeah, no, it came. I'm pretty sure it came out during February, so it was like a Black History Month, and it's an Amazon original. So
it is. Yeah.
That's what I didn't know that until after the movie was over.
No,
I thought it was just a movie that got put on Amazon. I didn't know Amazon actually made this. Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, they've turned out a lot of decent stuff.
Yeah,
this movie probably at the forefront
sure.
of it. Yeah, but yeah, this is a really awesome movie. Like I said, it's not fair to rate it.
I feel like as a channel, we have to give it a fair rating, like we did everything else. I wouldn't even. I'm not gonna say 10 out of 10.
No, you want to leave room
because every movie has its flaws. This one, in what it was trying to do, trying to portray a fictional conversation that resonates as a conversation for a generation. I feel like it could have been a little bit more like in your face about it.
Okay.
Just because of the type of person Malcolm X was and the type of person Jim Brown was, I feel like they could have.
That's fair.
They could have put a little bit more of their foot in there with it, and because of that, I got to knock it down 0.5.
So it's
9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
But other than that, everything else was, as a message, me personally, I felt this movie, and I grew up living this movie. This conversation is something that has been always going on in the back of my head, going back to the 4 different views of what was going on is just, I feel like I've lived through each part of them just by, what they were talking about in this movie. Malcolm X with his personality and what he was preaching about are what my grandfather has always tried to instill in my dad and then in me. But there was one summer, me and my sister went up there, and we were supposed to be there for 3 weeks, almost a full month. but it got cut literally in half. We were only there a week and a half because my grandfather he got so angry because I tried to start to like talk to him from my point of view, which was from an 11-year-old's point of view.
Yeah.
And for what I had, and I was a smart kid, so it wasn't like I was, oblivious to the racist stuff going on. But he was just, just so, no, the white man is evil, the devil. And then my sister cried because she was scared and called my parents and was like, "Hey,
yeah, because she's 2 years old, younger than you."
Yeah, well, a year and a half.
Year and a half, okay.
But yeah,
yeah, I was 10 and a half, or 9 and a half. I don't think I would have been able to handle that either.
Yeah, it was quite a lot. But with him, Malcolm X, I felt he definitely was my grandfather. Jim Brown, I kind of resonated with a little bit just from the, in the sports aspect, and because I've done almost every sport except hockey, and lacrosse. There's a few others.
So white people sports.
Pretty much.
You could not have named whiter sports.
Right. I didn't get into baseball.
That's fair.
I got cut from the tryouts.
That's fair.
That was
the Cubans game.
Yeah.
And Japanese.
Yeah.
They're good at baseball. They are really fucking good. Japanese people are fantastic at baseball. Anyway.
But Sam Cooke and Muhammad Ali, I feel like just being young and being famous, I feel like that aspect I resonated with only because in the church, my family and like two other families were like the families that people went to for things. Okay. For like they went to my grandmother for advice, or they came to my mom for learning how to like sing and stuff like that. So I feel like the
show, because you're young and famous.
But I just feel like growing up around having all of these people come to you, because that's what Sam Cooke and Muhammad Ali were for the time. They were the poster boys for being young and black and having some kind of success. But also how people looked at them despite their fame. Because growing up in church, I was a sound guy. Everybody knew me as the kid that really knew how to mess with the sound and make it sound perfect. As soon as I left the church, went to shit. I'm not even kidding. I talked to a couple of my friends. I was holding the sound system together, but
bow down.
Just the way that people look at you when you're young, they don't expect you to do
anything.
Really anything.
Nothing.
And when it comes to, especially boxing, at least, that's such a physical thing. I mean, Muhammad Ali was small.
Was he? I had no idea. Yeah.
He wasn't like tiny, but he was, for a heavyweight, he was small.
He was small. Okay.
I mean, if you look at, you could see the difference between him and Sonny Liston. I mean, Sonny, he looked like he was a big dude. He looked like Jim Brown. Yeah. But then when you put Cassius next to Jim Brown, they're like the same size. Just when you have a lot of people looking at you and going, "Oh, he's good at what he does," but he's still just the young black kid. He doesn't really have much going for him other than the one thing that he's good at. But that definitely wasn't the case. So I feel like that aspect, the way that they went about showing each of their...
God damn it.
Yeah, it's coming down. Good thing you brought a hoodie.
I parked on the other side of fucking...
You parked pretty far.
Parking lot, I did. Over into the 100 building. 7706.
That's like the first one. He can't,
it just brought me in straight into the Walmart parking lot. All the way to the back.
Yeah. But yeah. All in all, this is a really good movie.
Fantastic. I'm glad we were able to get a serious movie in here. It's kind of weird after Monster House, but at least it wasn't after. It wasn't after Jason Goes to Hell. So
had to have the break in between.
Right, and
so what are we doing next time?
Well, I picked this movie, I picked this movie, so it's your turn to pick. So we can figure this out. afterwards.
Are we doing a theme for?
Not for November. I
Thanksgiving.
mean, if you can find a Thanksgiving movie, I'd be happy
That's
to
true.
watch it because I've never seen it. There's Pilgrim, which is a horror movie. I don't know.
Pilgrim versus the World. Let's do that.
You want to do
Let's
that?
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Really?
So, yeah, I've
Oh
never seen that
my
movie.
God.
All right. So next time we're gonna do Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like it, and if you want to see more, definitely hit the like.
Fun fact for you guys: I do
First
consider Scott Pilgrim versus the World a Thanksgiving movie.
All right.
Only because
his name's Pilgrim.
Yeah, and you know it's a little white boy versus an Indian boy. I think it's the first X. So
I'm excited for this movie now. We will see you guys whenever we see you guys. Because I would say next week, but they're not going to hold us.
We can't do a schedule anymore. Man.
No, not allowed.
Too much.
Peace out.
Yeah.